Hello and welcome back. Well, in this video we're going to look at the multiplayer game, how it starts, how we go there from the index page. So we have this index page here, and we're logged in, we've been playing, but now we want to play against a human or whatever. This is just a computer. So we push this button right here, multiplayer game, and that's going to take us to this page right here. It goes to chmult/pages/indexMult.php. And if we look at an index page where we have this multiplayer game button, we find the multiplayer game button right down here in the code. It's part of this save load output div. So we have a JavaScript that looks at multiplayer submit, and if we push this button, we want to go to this page here, and this one is chmult/pages/user-login.php. So what we're doing now, we're in index, but we want to go to a folder or a file that is in, first of all, chmult and pages and user login. So it goes to this page right here. Okay, so what's happening in this page when we call this page? Well, we do a session start again, so we have the session variables. We include a class that I haven't been speaking about, and it's the user class. So we're gonna go through classes now, which I've created just for multiplayer game. And what it does is we create a new user object here, and we will do the function of set username. So we're creating the user and we're setting the username to the session username. So we're already logged in because we're playing against a computer, otherwise we wouldn't see the button. So if I go back to the where we start normally, we have this. Now we don't have the multiplayer game. We need to be logged in to see that button, so we have set the session login to a12. So when I push multiplayer game, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna have then set the username to a12 because I'm already logged in, and we're setting the use password as well. And then I'm gonna do the if statement here, and we do two things here. So we check when I do the user login function for the user, and this one returns either true or something else. If it returns true, we will do all this. In the same time, we will do something else. We are calling this function which is doing a lot of stuff, and at the end of that it returns true. And if it's true, we're gonna set the session user ID to this, and we're gonna do username, session username is gonna be this, session game ID is gonna be this, and session opponent, session caller is gonna be this. So we're putting a lot of session variables if this returns true. So I'm gonna now show you the class user. So where is it? Well, if we're in user login, you see ... so we go one step back, and then we got the classes, and we want to check the user PHP. So in this one we have user. So we're gonna look at this one now. What I'm doing here is I'm creating a class with these variables right here. Then I'm just gonna do a lot of get user ID and set user ID. So if I set the user ID, I can get the user ID whenever I want, just to do this function right here. So like if we use here, down here, we use the get username, which is already set for this user login. Like you see, I create user and I do user set username. So I've set the username to session username. So we already set the username here, and then we're gonna use that in some other functions right down here. So anyway, we do this, we set the username, we set the password, and then we call the function user login. So if I go to user now and I look at the user login, which is here, this one right here, when I call the user login function, we will do this. We will connect to the database, which now needs ... because we're coming from user login. So we just call the we include the user class here, but we're still in this PHP. So we are still in this PHP when we're here. So when I push ... now we're at connect to database. So that's why I do ... Anyway, we include the database. We do the user request to get. We select everything from the user table, where username is username and password is the password. You've seen this in the earlier videos. In video 4 we went through the first SQL code, so I explained it a little more there. We do the execute and we set the username to get username, and the user password is set to get user password. Those two are set, so we can do the get function. They are set here. Okay, so we can get them with these functions right here. So when this is done, so now we ask for a row, which is this username and this password. And again, I've explained this before. If we don't have a row, we are going to a page, a URL, which will say, we will go to the index and we do the error equals 1. But this will never happen because we have pushed the multiplayer game, so we're already logged in. So we're always gonna get the username, so it doesn't matter anyway. So this is the important stuff. Else we do this. So we take the row we got with the username and user password. We get the whole row with this. And then we are doing this to set the user ID with the row user ID from the database. So if we check the database here, and when I do, let's say I'm logged in as a 12 here, the first one, so it has my row, all the row here. So if I check the row user ID, we will get this one here. So it's gonna set the user ID for this class. It's gonna set to user ID. It's just simple. And it's gonna set the row game ID, which is this one, game ID, to the set user game ID, and it's gonna do the same for those. And then we have some statement here. So if statement, if the game ID equals 0, then we're gonna go to location indexMult.php, and this is where we are right now. So what it means is that if this game ID is 0, what that means is that we're not in a multiplayer game. If we are in a multiplayer game, it's gonna show some random number here, or it's not random, but we do a random ID whenever we start a new game, and this is gonna be in here as long as you're doing this multiplayer game. Otherwise it's gonna be 0 if you're not part of a multiplayer game. So this one checks, is the game ID equals to 0? If it is equal to 0, we're not in a multiplayer game, and we're gonna go to this page. This page, you've seen it before. It's where you have all the available players that you can play against, and you also have this chat, so you can chat to anyone's there. You can chat and see if someone is there, and if someone is there, you can just push one of these and you will be connected with each other. If it's 0, you're not in a game, so it goes to this. If it's not 0, that means that you're in some multiplayer game. This will be something else than 0, then you're in a game. So then it's gonna go to this location right here, and this is a game where you're at with another opponent. And then if we went into we went to a username with a password, we always do when we push a multiplayer game, so it returns true. So it returns true, and it's gonna set all these ones here to it's going to set the session variables, and we put you see, we do here now get user ID, get username, get user game ID, get user game opponent. So that's what we did here in the user. It's like set user game opponent. We set this one, and in the PHP here we're getting it instead, and we're putting the session variable to that. Okay, so now, well, I'm not going to say anything more about that. So that's what's happening when we push the multiplayer game. So, alright. So the session variable is set, and we either go here to indexMult, or we go to this one here. If we go to the indexMult, now we're gonna see where we're going. So indexMult, it's in the same folder as the user login PHP, because you see there's no slashes or dot or anything. So we are actually here. We had the user login, and indexMult is in the same page. So indexMult right there. So this one is called, we're going to this page now, and here you got some information about what's happening in this PHP code right here. So it says, if a user chooses a player to play against someone, if a user chooses a player to play against someone, okay, chooses to play against someone, the user gets redirected to redirect PHP, where information is given to the database, like game ID, or who is black and who is white, and so on and so on. So yeah, I'm just gonna explain. You can read this. I think it's just it's because it's when you're coming back to this page, that's what's happening here. So what will happen is, we have a session start, we get the variables from the session, which is set now we were setting all these in the user log in PHP. It was the session names here. So we got all these, and we're doing a session start here as well. So we got the session variables. We do include the user the class again with the user, and we create a new user. And when we create these new users, we're going to do this if statement here, and we're going to look at if the session game ID is not equals 0. So if it's in a game, what it will do is it will delete the game, and it will put the game ID session to nothing. What this does is, if it's coming to indexMult.php, it will end everything, every game, multiplayer game we have, because it's not supposed to be a game if we're coming to this page. Remember that in this page we were redirected to either this page or this page. This page we were redirected to if we had a if we didn't have a multiplayer game going on. So we don't have a game going on here. But if we do have a game going on, then we're gonna delete it, and we're gonna put game ID session game ID to 0. This is when we come back to this page from when we have played a game. Like, say for example, I'm here, I've chosen pad, so I get this board. Now I want a new opponent. When I push this button, I'm gonna go back to this page, indexMult, and I'm coming back with a game ID. So now in this, when I coming to this code, I've already got a game ID. It's not equal to 0. So I have to delete this game, and I have to put the session game to 0. So this is used for that. Okay, so when we come to this page, we want to see all this instead. So we want to see welcome and the username here, and we want to see all the available players, and if they're not available, we will put it in red, and we're not going to be able to push it. If I push the mouse here and I click the mouse, I can't nothing happens. But if they're available, something will happen. I'm going to be redirected to the other page. So that's what we want to see, and we want to see this chat as well. So I'm going to talk about the chat in the next video. But we have all this, and what we do is like a normal HTML page, and here you got the first thing that says welcome, span, style, color, green, and we echo the session username. The session username is set. We had session start, and we had set all the session variables in this one. So session username was set in this one. So we have that variable here, and if we do echo in a PHP tag, then we're gonna echo this line here. So welcome étoile, just right now. If I would be logged in with someone else, it would say welcome and someone else. And in the next video, I'm gonna talk about the chat message right here. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Here you see the div with the available players, and it's the div that does all this here. Not is available or not available. And we are going to call these JavaScripts jQuery as usual, the library for JavaScript, and then we're gonna call the available players JavaScript and the chat box JavaScript. So well, yeah, thanks, and I hope to see you in the next video.